The fog lay thick over Blackwater Swamp, a blanket of cold mist that seemed to breathe with a life of its own. Every step into its murky depths felt like a step into another world, one where the rules of reality were suspended and something ancient and malevolent watched from the shadows. 3 siblings, Jake, Anna, and little Tommy, stood at the edge of the swamp, staring into the soupy haze. Their grandfather's tales of lost treasure buried deep within the swamp had been a source of fascination since childhood. Now, with the old man's map in hand, they had finally mustered the courage to seek it out. Jake, the eldest, led the way. He was tall and strong, with a protective instinct that often put him at odds with his younger sister, Anna. Anna was sharp-eyed and skeptical, always questioning the stories and motives of others. Tommy, the youngest, clung to Anna's hand, his wide eyes darting nervously around the fog-shrouded landscape. "Stay close," Jake instructed, his voice a low rumble. "The map says the treasure is near the heart of the swamp, but this place is easy to get lost in." They trudged forward, their boots sinking into the wet, spongy ground. The air was heavy with the scent of decay, and the constant croaking of frogs and buzzing of insects created an eerie symphony. As they ventured deeper, the fog grew thicker, swallowing the world around them. After an hour of walking, they came upon a twisted old tree, its gnarled roots jutting out of the water like skeletal fingers. Jake checked the map, nodding with satisfaction. "We're close. The treasure should be buried near that tree." Anna frowned. "This place gives me the creeps. Are we sure this isn't just another one of Grandpa's tall tales?" "Only one way to find out," Jake replied, brandishing a shovel. They set to work, digging into the soggy ground. The minutes stretched into an hour, and their initial excitement gave way to frustration and fatigue. Just as they were about to give up, Tommy's shovel struck something hard. "I found it," he cried, his voice tinged with both fear and excitement. They unearthed a small, weathered chest, its surface covered in strange, faded symbols. Jake pried it open, revealing a collection of tarnished coins, old jewelry, and a single, tattered journal. As Anna reached for the journal, a chill ran down her spine. "We should go," she said, her voice trembling. "Something about this place feels wrong." Jake ignored her, flipping through the journal. "Look at this," he said, pointing to a page filled with cryptic writings and drawings of grotesque creatures. "It's some kind of diary. Maybe it can tell us more about the treasure." A sudden rustling in the bushes made them all freeze. They turned to see a pair of glowing eyes staring at them from the darkness. The creature stepped forward, revealing itself to be a hulking, grotesque figure covered in slimy green scales. Its mouth was filled with jagged teeth, and its long, clawed hands dripped with swamp water. The siblings backed away slowly, their hearts pounding in their chests. The monster let out a guttural growl, advancing on them with deliberate, menacing steps. "Run!" Jake shouted, grabbing Tommy's hand and pulling him away. They sprinted through the swamp, the creature's growls and heavy footsteps echoing behind them. The fog seemed to thicken, obscuring their path and making it difficult to see. Panic set in as they realized they were hopelessly lost. "We need to find higher ground," Anna said, her voice strained. "It can't follow us there." They stumbled upon a small island, its surface covered in thick, tangled roots. Climbing up, they huddled together, gasping for breath. The monster prowled the edge of the island, its eyes never leaving them. "We have to do something," Jake said, his voice barely above a whisper. "We can't just wait here." Anna clutched the journal, her eyes scanning the pages frantically. "There has to be something in here that can help us." As she flipped through the pages, a strange incantation caught her eye. It was accompanied by a drawing of the swamp monster bound in chains. Desperation overriding fear, she began to read the incantation aloud. The creature roared in anger, thrashing about as if in pain. The water around the island bubbled and hissed, and the air grew colder. Anna's voice wavered, but she kept reading, her determination growing with each word. With a final, ear-splitting roar, the monster collapsed into the water, its body dissolving into the murky depths. The swamp fell silent, the oppressive fog lifting slightly. The siblings sat in stunned silence, their minds struggling to process what had just happened. Finally, Jake spoke, his voice hoarse. "Let's get out of here." They retraced their steps, the journey back feeling much longer than the way in. As they emerged from the swamp, the first rays of dawn broke through the trees, casting a warm glow over their exhausted faces. They never spoke of what they had encountered in Blackwater Swamp. The treasure they found was buried deep, far away from prying eyes. But the memory of the monster and the terror they had felt would haunt them for the rest of their lives. The journal, with its cryptic writings and dark secrets, was locked away, a reminder of the dangers that lurked in the shadows. And though they tried to forget, the swamp's eerie silence seemed to follow them, a constant reminder that some treasures are best left buried.